Hello, we're getting a lot of questions about the service logs and the changes that happened and the new features that we have. I wanted to come on here and kind of show a little video about the changes that we've made in the service log. Hopefully you guys like this and it makes things a lot easier for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on a student record here. I'm going to go to my Jack Sparrow. And then I'm going to go up to student info, data collection progress, and service logs. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a service log for Jack Sparrow here. So everything up until this point is pretty much the same as it always been. I'm underneath the service provider of Ethan Brown. The provider role is the program specialist. The first change that we have is service delivered. Service delivered, if you do service delivered, it does not have the progress. If you choose service delivered with progress, it will add the progress there for you. That used to be different. It used to be service delivered and it had the progress, and then service delivered without progress. We kind of switched those two. So now we have service delivered is the one that does not have progress. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the service I'm going to be logging, which is speech and language. And then the next change that we have is it has service date or dates. And so we've added a feature now to where you can choose the date that you would like to log for the service. Let's say I'm going to start doing this last week, so Monday the 2nd. But let's say that I saw the students, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 30 minutes each one of those days. I can actually choose the 2nd, and I can choose the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. And I can actually create a log for those days with just this one entry. So I can choose multiple dates now. Okay, if I say, oops, I forgot, I didn't mean to choose Friday, I can go back and I can uncheck Friday, and it takes Friday off my list here. Okay, so I'm going to be making 4 logs for these different days. All right. And so let's say that for each one of those days, for last Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I saw the student, and I can use these arrows here to change. Or if I click on the actual box for the duration, let's say it says 1 hour here, I can change it to 2 hours, or I can zero it out, and I can just say, oh, I saw the student for 45 minutes for each one of those days. Okay, so it's going to make an individual log for each one of those days for the students for 45 minutes. The next change that we made is the start time. You don't have to use a start time any longer and an end time. That is optional. We just need the duration. All right, so I saw that student for 45 minutes for each one of these days. Okay, if I wanted to choose a start time, it's going to put that start time for every single one of those days. So if I saw the student say at 9 o'clock on Monday, but then I saw him 9:30 on Tuesday, we cannot put different times for each day. That's why we eliminated the start and end time. But if you did see the student the same time every single day, you guys can put that start time the same. You can click on this box again, and then you can choose, say, like 9, and then you can put like 30 for the minutes or whatever. And if you notice the end time, automatically from 45 minutes, it puts the end time in there for you. If you do not want to use the time and you enter the time, you can go up to the start time. You can delete the start time. And once you do that, it takes away that the end time as well. Okay. All right. So it's an individual service for that student. I don't need to do anything else. I have all these entries for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, where I saw the student for individual service. If I put in a note, it's going to put in a note, that same note for every single day. We're working on to see how we can put notes for, different notes for each day. But for now, just don't put in a note. And if you need to put in a note, you can edit the individual day. But I'll show you what it looks like here. I got the 4 days here for 45 minutes. I click validate and save. I've now created a service log for each one of these days for 45 minutes, for the 2nd for 45 minutes, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Okay, and now let's say if I wanted to go back and I needed to put in a note, I can do view detail. I can go edit, and maybe I can put in a note for this one specific day that I needed to put a note in. And all I do, put the note in, click validate and save, and there's my note. Okay. Same thing for a student. Let's say I'm going to do another service log for some more days here. So I'll create another service log, service delivered. I select the service. I'm going to go back a little bit, and let's say I want to do, say, the 5th, 6th, 7th, 13th, 20th, 21st, 22nd. And I have all those dates. I just click out of it. I'm going to log every single one of those days. I saw that student for, let's say, for an hour and 15 minutes each one of those days. I'm not going to put in a start time. But let's say that, oops, he was absent for one of those days. So if I put absence here, it's going to put absence for all those days. So maybe I'm just going to say he was absent on the 6th. So I'm going to go back in here on December 6th and not include that one. All right, I'm going to just do an individual log for that absence, and I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. Now I'm done with those, an hour and 15 minutes for each one of those. I hit validate and save. Now I have a service log for an hour and 15 minutes for each one of those days. Now remember, December 6th, they were absent. I'm going to go back in here. I'm just going to do a log for December 6th. Click out of there. It was for an hour and 15 minutes. And like I said, you can use that, or you can click here and use the boxes. I'm going to just mark that the student was absent. I hit validate and save. Oh, a service is required. See, I still got to put the service in here. It was for the speech and language. Absent, validate and save. And then it goes and marks my absence. Now, you do need to put in your absent if the student was absent. The absent minutes do count towards the minutes that the minutes you've provided. So even though the student was absent, you can mark when you were actually supposed to see the student and for how long. Those will count towards your minutes as long as the student was absent. If you were absent as a provider, you would actually have to make up those minutes. So those are the new features for the service logs and how to create those. Hopefully that will help you guys out. Now in the group, if you guys have groups selected, it is the same for the groups as well. When you create a service log for the groups, you can do multiple dates for the groups, and it'll put in for all the students in your group. It'll put in for that duration. But again, if a student is absent for one of those days, you will have to go back in and find that day on the service logs. In this area, once you validate and save the service logs, you'll have to go back in to that student's. Let's say you go choose a student, you find your student that they were absent, you go back and edit, and you edit it, and you'd have to mark that one day as being absent. We're trying to figure the way that would look, but for now, this is the best we have, is to actually, put that service log in there and then go back to that one specific day for that one specific student and mark them absent. If you have any questions, you guys feel free. If you go down here to the bottom, if you click on contact on any of the pages on SIRAS, you can look at the support email, and we also have the number here that you can call. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Hopefully this helps you guys out.